Devin, did you bring the stellar African sunset?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I brought it, but it's here.
So my dream travel show is to go throughout Africa with Devin Myers. Devin Myers has taken me to Uganda and Pafuri and Kruger National Park. And Devin, wouldn't this be your dream show to have the cameras and show all the animals and help with conservation?
Sure, absolutely. As far as you've seen already with Pafuri and Uganda, Africa is a phenomenal continent. It's unbelievably diverse, not only from a point of view of animals and birds, but landscapes and people.
And so Devin, you know the group that we're gonna see in a few minutes, the gorilla group?
I do. I actually have trekked to this group of gorillas, or this family of gorillas, before.
How many people are in this group right now? You got trackers?
We've got 2 armed guides, 1 lead guide, and 3 porters. And then with us, there's 6 of us.
I've always felt it safe in Africa. Sure. People here in Africa go out of their way to make sure it is as safe and as clean so that everybody can travel here.
Absolutely. And I think the most important thing to understand is that we wouldn't be booking safaris for our guests or our clients in areas that are dangerous.
It's a little hairy at moments.
It's tricky, it's not easy, but this is the real deal. Just move slowly with these guys.
My God.
See the black face? Far in.
Oh.
60 feet. There we go.
So we're looking right at the silverback, but you turn your gaze when it's staring at you.
You don't have to avert immediately, but if he looks like he's getting a bit serious, then you'd avert your gaze just a little bit. Okay. You don't ever want to make him feel threatened in any way. He is the dominant one here. And he's got babies right close to him.
And they're playing nonstop, and you just were saying that they were reprimanded because they're trying to eat, but they're playing all.
So they're playing a huge amount right next to him, which is probably irritating him a bit. Just like any parent would get irritated at their children making too much fuss. So now they're feeding nicely. He's just watching and protecting them as they feed. This is his family, so he's sired. He's the father of these youngsters. So it's absolutely important that he protects them against any threats. You must remember that if he's 220 kilograms, that weight is hugely strong, because even a 100 kilogram gorilla is 5 times the strength of a 100 kilogram human. So he's the same strength as a 1-ton human, but you're not going to find a 1-ton human. 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens evolved here. And so we have been around in these same wilderness regions on our own 2 feet, existing alongside the other animals that have also always existed here. So we have our place here as much as they do. In the modern world, we've become very disconnected from our place within the wilderness. So we do belong here. We've just forgotten where we fit in.
We are on Lake Victoria in Uganda with Devin Myers from the African Born Safari, and we just took the greatest water safari. Devin, what was the highlight?
I think, success. We went looking for shoebill, which is an amazing bird. It's one that's hugely sought after, for many birders in Africa, and from around the world coming to Uganda to come and look for it. So you'll see it just through the gap here. We're getting closer to it. See it through the reeds. Massive bird standing there. Look at the size of that thing. Looks like a dinosaur. It stands very still for long periods of time. It's actually waiting for lungfish and catfish that in these less oxygenated waters, they need to come up and breathe. And so as they come up to breathe, that's when it'll try and fall onto one and grab it. It's a brilliant bird. The wilderness area that's left is not a lot. It's much smaller than it used to be, all these wilderness areas, and now they've actually separated from each other. With a growing population of people, it's a very basic thing of if it pays, it stays. There needs to be some financial gain or benefit to a wilderness area to keep it wild. Otherwise, it's just going to become cropland or farmland for the growing population of local people. So what we actually need is loads of tourists coming in, because as long as there's dollars coming in, there is financial benefit to it, which means that the wildlife and these wilderness areas that are home to these animals and these birds and pretty much everything else, the diversity of it, continues to exist. This is the Chibali Forest National Park, and this is rainforest, and this is our best chance of finding chimpanzees. I mean, this family of chimps is actually about 120 members. Wow. It's a huge family. They're just ahead of us moving through the forest. So when chimpanzees fight each other, they'll literally bite each other's toes off and fingers off. Told you, it's very different to gorillas.
We're chasing the chimps.
Yeah. It's intense.
What happened?
So he was just trying to inform the others of his plans. He wanted to go up the tree. We were also quite close, so he was just pushing us back a little bit. But that sound is intense, so it's understandable that it's frightening.
Yeah.
Of course. To have the type of sighting we've had today is not common at all. It can be one chimp, very stationary, through the forest, the interactions, the vocalizations, that massive amount of sound and screeching. Brilliant.
We're here in Kruger National Park, and the elephant showed up just for the interview. I'm about to interview Devin Myers. He's been taking us on a walking tour, and I didn't really call the elephant in, I want you to know. It just decided to show up. This is one of the most gorgeous animals on safari in the world. You know, they're standing back there for the interview. I mean, how lucky are we?
The key thing to remember is that he belongs in this wilderness, but so do we. And we were in this spot first. So he's approached it, he knows we're here. And at some stage, he's going to make the decision to move on. Here he goes, giving us a nice wide berth. Okay.
Nobody move.
We'll just give him a minute to make a decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey. Enough. Hey.
Unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. Never thought I'd witness this in my life.
Hey. Okay, keep going. Thank you. Good.
The idea behind this show is to do all different safaris, from Namibia to Uganda, again Rwanda, Botswana, again South Africa, and then we go around the world and we look at the orangutans, we look at the tigers. We have to save animals, and I want to do that with you, Devin, because you care so much about the animal.
So when you return here again, this is your actual ancestral home. And so the sounds of the birds, the smells of Africa, the smells of the trees, all of those things reawaken your senses, okay? And that reawakens our soul, because essentially all of our hearts beat for Africa.